Welcome to my SmackDown review, January 17th, 2025. This episode was much better than the last episode. Yes, last episode was boring as hell. I feel like this one, there's a lot more progression into the story. Some good matches here and there. There were some times in the episode where it was dragging a little bit, but overall, we got some more matches for Saturday night's main event. Some more build up for the Royal Rumble. I can't believe next week's going to be Saturday night's main event. And then the week afterwards is going to be the Royal Rumble. That was pretty quick. But hey, we are here to talk about SmackDown, so let's get on with it. Rey Mysterio opens the show in his hometown of San Diego. After showing his love for his hometown, he has declared his entry for the Royal Rumble. Again, like I said before, Royal Rumble, pretty stacked. He recaps his Royal Rumble history and also talks about how he won one, went on to WrestleMania to win a championship. Then Kevin Owens interrupts. The crowd was booing hard. Surprisingly enough, KO gave his respects for Rey, and he talks about his own WrestleMania past and tells everyone how much he loves the Winged Eagle Championship that he's holding on to right now. He gets in the ring and tells Rey Mysterio that he wants to face Rey at WrestleMania, so he's rooting for Rey to win the Royal Rumble match. While Rey did appreciate the whole gesture, he tells KO that, hey, you're not the champion. Sorry for the accent. Then KO gets very angry and pissed off at Rey, yells at him. Then Rey tells Kevin that he's completely delusional. It reminds Rey of his son Dominic, and that's when they start brawling. Rey sets up KO for a 619, but KO escapes, leaving the ring angry. And then afterwards, there's a backstage segment. Nick Aldis arranged a match between Rey and Kevin to sort things out. And afterwards, Nick wanted Cody to sign a championship contract, but Cody said, nuh-uh, not until Kevin signs it. All right. Next up is the opening match for the show. Bianca Belair and Naomi versus Nia Jax and Candice LeRae. We've seen this match before. It's pretty much like the same old, except for this one. This is not for the titles. Speaking of which, there should be more build towards the tag team titles in the women's division. Although the Jade Cargill drama investigation is still going on, that's the interesting part of it. But other than that, we haven't seen many other female tag teams being involved. So yeah, instead of that, we're just treated with the same old. I mean, Bianca, Naomi, they're doing great as always. Candice, pretty underrated. Nia, well, I guess she's a heel giant. That's all I could say for her. The heels had the advantage for the match, but it all went downhill when Nia leg drops onto Candice after Bianca dodged. And then Bianca knocks Nia out of the ring. Then Naomi tags it to do her finisher on Candice and wins by pinfall. It was okay. It was an okay way to open up SmackDown. Next up is Jimmy Uso versus Carmelo Hayes. Before the match, Carmelo was insulting Jimmy about the fact that Jimmy is living under the shadows of Jay and Roman. Jimmy got pissed off, grabbed Carmelo into the ring, and started beating him up. And yeah, that starts off the match. Pretty fast-paced overall. Physicality, hit each other with some high-flying maneuvers, some acrobatics. Getting to the end, they were hitting big moves to each other. And then Jimmy hits a spear on Carmelo. So apparently he's going to be like his brother Jay, where he's going to do a spear. Guys, come on. You guys don't need to have like the same moveset, all right? But that got a huge reaction from the crowd. Jimmy was preparing for the Uso splash, but on the other side of the ring, he sees none other than Jacob Fatu staring him down. Then Tama Tonga from behind knocks down Jimmy from the top rope. Jacob and Tama were beating up Jimmy, which ended the match with disqualification. Carmelo tried to suck it up to those two, but then he got knocked out. What do you think you're trying to do there, Carmelo? Like, come on, man. You think you're in their good graces? They're insane. Solo makes his entrance, looking all depressed. We haven't seen him since the Raw debut on Netflix. So once he got into the ring, people were booing the shit out of him as Solo was trying to do his promo. But after those few minutes, Solo dropped the mic and went out of the ring, walked through the crowd, and just exited the arena. I like the story that they're telling with Solo. Solo is pretty much like all down right now after losing to Roman in an important match. He's looking all depressed. Jacob was mad. Jacob tells everyone that he's tired of all the disrespect and all the hate. People may think that he may be crazy. Well, he's just getting started. And then suddenly LA Knight comes into the ring, knocks down both Tama and Jacob, but then he gets outnumbered. Whoa! It's Braun Strowman. He gets in the ring, saves LA Knight. Then we see a showdown, a stare down between Jacob and Braun. They were teasing it, but then Tama takes Jacob out of the ring and then they escaped. Then after that whole segment, it's actually been confirmed that Braun Strowman and Jacob Fatu will face off in Saturday night's main event. That is going to be a huge match. Lots of gigantic moves here and there. Man, it is just a good matchup that we're going to see. We're going to be blessed with it. Next up is a tag team match between Motor City Machine Guns versus Los Garza. And I believe this is for the #1 contender for the tag team championships. Can I just say, I am very glad that Los Garza has gained their TV time since last week. And also the fact that Angel brought back the pants gimmick where he rips off and throws it towards their opponent for a distraction. That is a great gimmick, a very funny gimmick. He needs to keep that throughout his career because it's so unique and it's very fitting for a heel like him. Anyways, back to the match. Lots of acrobatics, some cruiserweight action here and there, huge strikes. I love Motor City's tag team combos. They're just very fantastic. As well as Los Garza's tag team maneuvers. They're all just amazing. It was pretty much fast-paced throughout the whole match. The crowd was into it. When the Motor City Machine Guns were setting up their Skull and Bones finisher, Pretty Deadly came into the ring and started distracting the ref, then started interfering. Then when Berto went for the pin, the ref was still distracted by Pretty Deadly, which ultimately, this whole interference thing from Pretty Deadly failed. Motor City got Pretty Deadly out of there. They set up the Skull and Bones finisher for the second time, and they successfully hit it, getting the pin 1, 2, 3. And now they're going to be facing off DIY in a future match for the championships. Pretty good match. I love the tag team division in SmackDown. There's lots of like build around it. While the Raw Tag Team Championships, well, it's still a little bit in limbo, but it's on the Royal Raiders. So, I mean, we might see some future build up for the Raw Tag Team Championships. But for now, SmackDown's doing much better in the tag team division. And then in the backstage segment, Nick went up to KO to sign the contract, but KO was like, no, hell no. I want Cody to sign before I do. Okay, so I guess both of them are pretty stubborn when it comes to signing contracts. Keep that in mind. In a backstage segment, Michin was talking about her losing in the United States Championship match. Chelsea and Piper piped in. You get that? I'm sorry. Chelsea was pretty much bragging about her win in the United States Championship match. And then B-Fab went up and said, hey, you only won because of Piper's help. And Piper told B-Fab to back off. And then we spawned a match between Piper and B-Fab. It was an alright match. I mean, there's nothing too exciting about it. We get to see B-Fab wrestling more often than before. She was decent in some of her moves, but overall, hold up on her own. It was a relatively quick match, and Piper won with her finisher. And then after the match, Chelsea and Piper started attacking B-Fab. And then Michin went in there with a kendo stick to save B-Fab. I guess this match was more of like a build-up between Michin and Chelsea for the United States Championship. Next up is the anticipated match between Rey Mysterio versus Kevin Owens. This is a great match between a legend and one of the top heels in the company. Very solid. I did not expect anything less from these two. They start with a classic slow pace in a match that starts building up over time. Rey is just so fast. He is moving around like he's still young. He never ages. Rey is just fantastic. Out of this world. They both showcase such spectacular moves against each other. The crowd was loving it. I love the story that they were telling prior to the match and then into the match. I just love it. KO was disrespecting Rey and the crowd. At one point, KO hit a stunner, but Rey kicked out. Surprisingly, I thought that was the end of the match. Then KO tried to do a swanton bomb. Rey puts up his knees to counter the swanton bomb. KO's on the middle rope and he gets hit with a 619. As Rey was setting up a top rope maneuver, KO stumbled onto the ref, pushing the ref towards the rope, which would knock down Rey, providing a inadvertent low blow, or was it inadvertently? Who knows? Maybe it was on purpose. KO took advantage, hits Rey with a pop-up powerbomb with a win by pinfall. That wasn't over though. KO helped Rey up, shook Rey's hand, but he suckered him in for a piledriver. But just as he was about to hit the piledriver, Cody comes in there, brawls a KO to save Rey. and they're just brawling again for the 10th million time. It was getting chaotic. The security, the management were trying to stop them, but it just kept getting more chaotic. KO escapes through the crowd with the Winged Eagle title. In the backstage segment, Nick had enough between these two, rightfully so, because this is just getting out of hand. Nick has issued an order where both Cody and Kevin have to relinquish their titles just to set up the ladder match at the Royal Rumble, and they have to give away the titles at Saturday night's main event. And then during Saturday night's main event, they will both have to sign a contract in the middle of the ring. And who's going to moderate the contract signing? None other than San Antonio's favorite, the Heartbreak Kid, Shawn Michaels. Yes, Shawn Michaels will be appearing at Saturday night's main event. And yeah, of course, it's San Antonio. It's his hometown. He has to be there. And we all love Shawn. One of the big legends in the company, all right? Afterwards, we had a huge announcement. Charlotte Flair is returning. Yes, Charlotte Flair herself. What do I think of Charlotte Flair? She has many great matches in her career. I love her in-ring work. The only thing I don't like about her is, like, I guess her gimmick. Her promos can be better, and the fact that she gets lots of opportunities and won lots of championships. Other than that, she is a spectacular wrestler. I cannot say enough about her in-ring work. It's just amazing. And then for the final match, the main event of SmackDown is for the Women's WWE Championship, where Tiffany will be defending her title for the first time against Bayley. Just to give some context here, Roxanne Perez is sitting in the front row. Recently in NXT, Bayley and Roxanne had like a little bit of altercation during that episode. So yeah, there's gonna be some trash talking in this match. The crowd was actually cheering for both of these women equally. I mean, it was pretty split. Tiffany took control as a heel despite the fact that she's getting cheered on. She used some heel moves, trying to get advantage in the match. And after the heel beatdown, Bayley makes a comeback with the Bayley to belly at ringside. Ooh. Eventually, Bayley and Roxanne were talking trash to each other. And then afterwards, Bayley hits a flying elbow. Tiffany kicks out. Bayley hits a Bayley to belly again. Tiffany still kicks out. Damn. She is not losing this match. Tiffany tries to do some big moves like the moonsault, but Bayley keeps countering it. Then all the way to the end, as Bayley was trying to set up the rose plant finisher, Tiffany counters it with an Alabama slam and then hits the prettiest moonsault ever on a Bayley, getting the pin 1, 2, 3. She retains her title, and that ends off SmackDown. Very great main event between the two women. I feel like the crowd was kind of losing energy there, but they still love what they watched. This episode was much better than the last episode. There were some good matches here and there, some okay or questionable matches, but and there was some storyline built for not only the Royal Rumble but also the Saturday night's main event. Can't wait to see what's going to happen for the next 2 weeks. Overall, pretty good SmackDown. So here's the upcoming plans for the next 2 weeks. I'm still going to do the Raw review for the next 2 weeks, but as for SmackDown, I'm not going to do the reviews because that's going to be clashing with the live streams that I'm going to be doing for Saturday night's main event and the Royal Rumble. So instead of doing a review video for SmackDown, for each pay-per-view, I'm going to be doing a SmackDown review before the pay-per-view starts. If you want to check out my SmackDown review for the next 2 weeks, check out my 2 upcoming live streams I'm going to be doing for Saturday night's main event and the Royal Rumble. Can't wait to see what's going to happen in those events. Thank you guys so much for watching this episode. What do you guys think of SmackDown? What do you guys think of Raw this past week? Did you guys enjoy it? What were some highlights for you? What were some worst moments for SmackDown in your opinion? Thank you guys so much. Make sure you subscribe. I'll see you guys next time.